Assalamu alaikum. Now I am reading chapter 3 of the book, A Legacy of Trust, the Life and Work of Janab T. Abdul Wahid Sahib by T. Rafiq Ahmad. Please listen to it. This is an important chapter. Chapter 3, Building an Industry, the birth of T. Abdul Wahid and Company. From Representation to Industry Insight, 1945 to 1947. By the mid-1940s, following experience in public administration and exposure to the challenges faced by local industries, T. Abdul Wahid Sahib entered the leather sector, a field of both economic importance and regional relevance. His appointment in 1945 as Secretary of the SISHMA placed him at the center of trade representation, policy dialogue, and export regulation. In this role, he traveled frequently to Delhi, advocating for South Indian tanners on issues relating to pricing, exports, and finished leather production. Government policy, even before independence, had consistently encouraged the Indian tanners to move beyond raw and semi-processed hides towards finished leather exports, but the technical and infrastructural gaps remained significant. Wahid Sahib's position gave him direct exposure to both the limitations of Indian production and the expectations of international markets. To address these gaps, the Government of India organized a major overseas delegation in 1947, headed by Janab Jamal Mohiuddin Sahib of Trichy, a respected industry leader. Wahid Sahib served as member secretary of this delegation, responsible for coordination, documentation, and reporting. The delegation traveled for nearly 2 months across the United States, the United Kingdom, and continental Europe, visiting tanneries, research institutions, and trade centers. Travel in that era was arduous. Long sea voyages abroad, luxury liners such as the RMS Mauritania, and multi-stop journeys on propeller-driven aircraft. Communication with India relied on express telegrams that took up to a day to arrive. In a letter dated 18th November 1947, written from London to his cousin M. Khalilullah Sahib, Wahid Sahib described the journey from New York by ship, the delegation's movements across Europe, and their scheduled return to India by mid-December. The correspondence recorded observations and movements rather than personal impressions. These travels provided him with direct exposure to modern tanning technology, structured export systems, and rigorous quality benchmarks. The delegation returned to India around December 1947, having completed what was then one of the most comprehensive international studies of the leather industry undertaken by Indian representatives. A shift from advocacy to action. 1949. The insights gained during the delegation marked a turning point. Wahid Sahib recognized that representation alone could not bridge the gap between Indian capability and global standards. Shortly thereafter, in 1949, while still active within industry circles, he met Harold Gilley of the Gilley Tanning Company, Boston. Initially, Wahid Sahib was appointed as an agent to procure vegetable tanned cow and buffalo calf skins, coordinating sourcing through established contacts in Pyramid, Madras leather trading hub. His reliability and familiarity with quality requirements led Gilley to suggest that he manufacture and export directly. When Wahid Sahib explained that he lacked working capital, Gilley made an exceptional offer, a Red Cross letter of credit, allowing advance funding against future shipments. At a time when Indian entrepreneurs had little access to institutional finance, this gesture of trust proved decisive. Formation of T. Abdul, Wahid and Company. With this support, T. Abdul, Wahid and Company was formed as a partnership firm. Wahid Sahib leased a tannery at Pallavaram and commenced production of cow leather for direct export to Gilley Tanning Company, Boston. This marked his transition from trade representation to manufacturer exporter. The early years demanded meticulous attention to sourcing, processing, quality control, and shipment schedules. His insistence on discipline and documentation shaped the company's operating culture from the outset. Expansion to Ranipet and operational challenges. As demand increased, Pallavaram's limited facilities proved inadequate. Wahid Sahib expanded operations to Ranipet, leasing 3 tanneries and appointing Wanekar Abdul Qadir Sahib, husband of his elder sister Halima Bi Sahiba, to oversee production. Over time, cooperation for raw materials intensified, and purchases by Gallic tanning company were reduced. In response, production was scaled down to maintain stability rather than pursue volume without control. During this phase, Wahid Sahab established his first office at number 3 Muthugramani Street, Pyramid, Madras, strengthening coordination with traders, buyers, and shipping agents. As administrative requirements increased, family members joined the enterprise. His elder brother T. Abdul Razzaq Sahib, his nephew T. Nisar Ahmad Sahib, and later K. Muhammad Kamaluddin Sahib, who served as export manager, became involved in supporting operations. Their association marked a transition from individual enterprise to a more structural organization. Looking beyond volume, they turned toward Ambur. The operational constraints highlighted the need for greater control over production conditions. Ambur, his hometown, offered access to good water, skilled labor, and established trade networks. The shift toward Ambur would provide the basis for a more integrated and scalable operation. From administrator to industry builder, this chapter marked the true beginning of Wahid Sahib's entrepreneurial journey, a deliberate transition from administrator and representative to industry builder. It was guided by discipline, informed by international exposure, and grounded in realism rather than ambition. The foundations were in place. The next phase would focus on scale, technology, and location.